Hello everyone, this is Peter Stone, and I wanted to let you know, share with you what I've been doing for maybe more than 25 years. These are ankle weights, and yesterday I discovered, looking for a new set of ankle weights, really wrist weights for me. Some people have created some new ones online. So these are a little worn out because I've used them a lot, and I'm going to bring another set back, but from the United States. Difficult to find here, but in the US, you know, we got everything. So what do? It's pretty simple. I just put, this is a little stiff. Ever since I got it, I would call this a slight defect because it's not real pliable and soft. It's kind of snug. But the strap over time gets worn, and one trick is that this needs to stay flat, so it doesn't, this part here needs to stay flat. And you just lock this up. I mean, this is not a big deal, but you just want this on snug as possible. Why? You'll see, because the way I ride the bike, I don't want these loose on my wrist. I want them strong and solid. So when I make a trip, and I've gone for a few weeks, and I come back and do this, if I haven't been in the US and riding my bike to balance things out, which I do this in the US too. I don't just do this in Thailand, I do it whenever I can, but mostly at my homes in the US and my homes here in Thailand, home here, and snug this baby up really nice and tight. And usually I have my Performance Amulet sports bracelet on, which has a chip in there that I developed back in 2011. I didn't develop the chip, I made the bracelet, somebody else developed the chip, and it works. And I have them in my pendants that strengthen the mitochondria. But we only sell those from Thailand. We do not sell those from the United States. They're only available from Thailand. So this is it, fitness gear, solid. So I've had this bike, I love this bike. My general manager says, Peter, why don't you buy a new bike? I'm like, are you kidding me? This is like an old pair of sneakers or shoes or running shoes, whatever. We just call them the old pair of sneakers. But this bike, the grips are a little worn. I don't know how many miles it has, but where I first started riding this, there is now a 10-lane highway from the airport into downtown Bangkok. So I used to ride out with giant snakes, 9-foot snakes. I was riding one morning, and there's this coiled up snake with no head. Somebody nailed them and got their head off because they're dangerous. This was a huge snake. Maybe it was like 15 feet, I don't know, it was huge. I couldn't tell because it was all coiled up and it had no head. What a surprise riding the bike in the morning. So lots of interest in adventure. So I'll just go down the street here and we'll show you a couple parts of what I do. And what's so critical about this is I ride hands-free. I'm working my lower, and then I heard about this thing. My daughter said, oh, that's a spin class, Dad. And I like, what is a spin class? And people go in there and they hold little weights and they go, and they bounce up and down, I guess, and whatever you do in a spin class, I respect that. My choice is not to be in a stuffy room. In the wintertime, we must, if we're not in this beautiful tropical area. And I've designed my life, so I live here when I want, and I go back to the Western world as I choose. Life is designed, not a, I must do what my heart tells me. That's why I'm here. And these little things I've learned is I'm riding a bike for exercise, and I just thought, I got creative, and I thought, well, what if I put weights? And I started riding hands-free, and I started pumping. And I said, wow, I'm all about parallel leveraging. Not multitasking. Multitasking is multitasking. It's distraction, really. This is something where I'm working my lowers, riding my bike hard, and working my upper with this motion and have these weights. So I'm doing this stuff, and I'm doing this stuff, like a 𝗵𝗵𝗴 that I learned from 𝗵𝗵𝗴. I still give him credit because he inspired me on this stuff. Then I get this movement up, out, bam, and I do a crunch when I drop it down. So I'm doing this, I'm riding, and I have different gears, and so when I really get fit, I push it up to a really high resistance. So I'm pushing hard on the ride, on the lower, and I'm really pumping it hard. And I do this at lunchtime, the guards under the umbrella, sweating. And I'm doing it like, and it's not anything about being so great at all. That's not my point. My point is I get a chuckle out of it because it's only what I do. And it's really the first time I've shared this in 20 years publicly about what I do. I tell people from time to time, but I think it's time to share. And what people comment, Peter, you have so much energy. Where do you get it? Well, this is one of the things that I get. And no matter how I feel, I still ride this bike. And my wife and I came back from doing some organic food shopping, and with throwing in a massage in between, got home, got out of the car, 10:19 p.m. Pam says, "Bike, do you want to go for a bike ride before we go to bed?" Because we ate some things. Now, she picked up on my habit because I've been riding bikes under the moon. I mean, what's more beautiful? Nobody's around, the air's clean, it's silent, the breeze blowing in your ears, riding at night under the moon. Fortunately, where I live, you'll see a little bit about it, is a development, if you will, a gated community is the best way to put it, and there's not a lot of traffic. And it's easy to ride and safely and not get knocked off. So it's got speed bumps for the cars, and I use the speed bump for balance improvement. So I talked about the lower and the upper, but things that some people don't think about, and I get this, oh, look at the show off, riding his bike, no hands. That's fine for those people. That's fine. They're walking and they're about 30 pounds overweight. I'm laughing, I'm chuckling, and I'm doing what I love to do. Because I'll go for 5 miles, I'll go for an hour or so riding, go up to the hill when I was living in the hut, overlooking the sea, ride up with my weights and meditate under the moon. So much. Listen to the sea crashing, deep breathe, energized with the sea air and the minerals. So the other upside of this exercise I'm going to show you is balance, mental acuity, because riding a bike, pumping the uppers and pumping the lower is enough. Okay, just riding a bike. Some people have a challenge riding a bike. Oh, I can't balance. Okay, good. We're talking about balance now. I am talking about balance. Now, get on the bike, ride hands-free, not just ride the bike hands-free without the weights. You got to get your balance. Once you get your balance, then you put on the weight and you start, boom, riding hands-free, pumping and getting this benefit and keeping fit. I'm not trying to build muscle. I am just maintaining a healthy, trim, fit lifestyle. I feel good at this weight. What do I weigh? I probably like 168. Between 165 and 170. I had a goal for 20 years. I was 188, 192, 195. I love to eat pastry. I love to eat. And I changed it. And in the last 3 years, I maintained between 172, maybe up to 174 in the festive time, down to 163. And it's not this dramatic, but I found a place, it's around 168, where I'm like feeling the best. I eat a little more carbs now. I was eating only protein and veggies, and I lost too much weight. So I had a discussion with my daughter, who is well versed in health. Maybe she got a little spark from her dad, but regardless, Dad, you gotta have carbs. So I have carbs. So while I'm writing this, this is about taking this to another level. This is real high performance in my mind, and I don't I really haven't told anybody about this. I've done a few little posts, but I'm sharing this because if you really want to be a high performer and leverage what you're doing and leverage the things around you, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, I don't have time, BS. In 20 or 25 minutes, I've ridden my bike 5 miles. I've gotten vitamin D from the sun. I feel the energy of the sun. I got charged from it. I feel the breeze on my face, the breeze in my ears. And I'm pumping and working on balance, agility, and stability all at the same time. I mean, they're saying people in their 60s, oh, you lose your mind. I'm like, what, are you kidding me? Some of the nutritional supplements I've been taking of late in the past few years, my mind breaks up into this like what you call the hard drive, right? Is multitasking, all these different drives when I think. And the bad part of that is that I get so many great ideas and I need to pull myself in the center. But the upside of that, I get to use the creation of habit building to structure that thought and say, not now, Peter, later. I get to get challenged on my discipline. Peter, that's a great idea, later. So I get my discipline into place. This is so deeply rooted, one exercise that entails so much. So then, after I do this, I go to the pool, and I'll show you that a little later. Go to the pool, take a swim. I do like 5 or 10 laps, intense. Not like slow, no, I go in and I go full bore. I'll show you a little bit. I'm not going to bore you with it, but I'll just show you. I put it full on. Then I lay in the sun and I get a little color. I don't need sun lamps or anything, but I get my vitamin D and I raise my feet. And this is one of the tricks of Thomas Edison. He raised his feet when he was tired. And the blood would go to your head, 18 inches above on a pillow. Put your head down, no pillow. Blood goes to your head, clears your head, and you wake up refreshed. So I kind of do that at the pool. And in 10 or 15 minutes, I'm like wide awake, ready to go back to my office in a creative state. But before I go, I get my stone and stand on my stone and do the work that Bo taught me. And get grounded. I just like get grounded. But I turn it up. So I'm accessing energy above and energy below, and I'm locked in, baby. I am connected. So that's just a little bit of my morning, sharing with you. A little bit up to noontime, and there's a whole lot more to this fun, invigorating, charged lifestyle. I live it. I don't talk about it. I live it every day, and I've been doing this for years and years. And you've seen me on some posts riding my jet ski 25 miles off the coast of Massachusetts, around the sailing ships. I mean, it's just living the life, and I am so eternally grateful. And Thailand has given me really, the Thai people are amazing and have taught me centeredness while I've shared and taught them other things. So happy to be here, living the dream, living the life. And it's all perfect because it's imperfect. That's the only thing about life being perfect, is that it's perfectly imperfect. And that's it. And don't try to make it perfect. Screw it. Do it. That book sits on my desk by Richard Branson. Screw it, do it. Let's do it. We, all of us, okay? I love that book. Little book, man, full of punch. Thanks. We'll see you at the pool. We're going to take a little ride, do a little recording, just so you know what I'm talking about. Thanks.